Good morning, good morning, good morning. For this is the day that the Lord has made. I'm rejoicing and I am so glad in it. I hope you are ready for the word of the Lord this morning. I hope you are making plans. Listen, to be with us on this Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Everything goes down. Everything changes. It is your divine appointment with the Lord. Listen, I am so excited about what God is doing in your life. I'm excited about what he's speaking in this season. Listen, I have to share with you what the Lord revealed to me in this open eye vision that I had this morning during my prayer time. If you have not already, I need you to help me to evangelize. I need you to share this on your page. I need you to tag some people. I need you to text some people. Tell them to get up. There is a word from the Lord on this morning. Listen, so as I was in prayer this morning and doing my devotion time, I was like reading and praying and just talking to the Lord about this prayer, about this time with you all, talking about the Lord, just about a number of things, but mainly concerning the people of God. And as I was talking to him, I started to hear, y'all just bear with me for a moment. I started to hear like boots, like marching. I started to hear in the spirit realm, like marching. And so I, first, because sometimes I don't know because it's so audible in my ear, I have to make sure that am I really hearing this? Because you know, all three of my grandbabies are here, my daughter and my son-in-law, and then so I got a house full of people. So I got up to walk in the living room to see if do I really hear them. Is this a spiritual thing, or do I really hear the kids up in the natural? Because I'm like, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, so surely I don't know. So I got up and went in the living room to see if it was actually somebody up. But there was nobody up. But I kept hearing, listen, y'all, I kept hearing boots marching. And so I came back, sat back down, and started back talking to the Lord. And I said, okay, Lord, what is this that I'm hearing? And so my eyes was closed. You know, sometimes when we pray, good morning, Adrian, my goddaughter, my mentee, who is doing great things, big things in the body of Christ. I'll share her stuff later today. Because I want you all to make sure you keep your eyes pinned on her, because she's going somewhere. Listen, so I heard these boots marching. And so I made sure it wasn't anything going on in the house. And I came back and I sat down and I said, okay, Lord, reveal to me what it is that you're showing me. And so as I begin to pray in that realm, I opened my eyes up and I could see, y'all heard me testify or share with you my vision of angels. If you never had that experience, in the first time, it'll scare you. But they are huge, massive angels. They are not these little things that, I know Valentine's Day is coming up and we want to think about the little baby angels. No. Angelic beings are not like that. They are not like Cupid. They are huge. And their wings are huge. Their wings are like the length of their body, because they can cover themselves up with their wings if they want to. So anyway, I'll talk about that at another time. But so I heard these boots like getting in formation, like they were marching. So when I opened my eyes, I could see, like, and that's why if you didn't see my page this morning, I posted this picture of angels, how they appear. And so I saw them like lining up, like getting in position. Oh, this is going to bless y'all. I saw them lining up, like getting in position. And then it was hundreds of them. Listen to this. This is good. There were hundreds of them, like getting in position, like everybody, you know how you like trying to line up and you trying to figure out, no, you go here, you go there. Let me move on this. So they were lining up like that. Then I saw this huge angel. Watch this. Another angel came around that was way bigger than everybody else. But he had like, the look of his face was like he was ready for battle. Okay, y'all know this is gonna be good. He was ready for battle. So it was like he had his sword up, and I could see his wings, and I could see like his face, like you have the markings to let you know that I'm ready for battle. And so I was still looking like, oh my God, what is going on? And so this angel marched around the front. And so I said, God, what are you trying to show me? And he said, that's Michael. Listen, that's Michael, the warring angel. And by this time, y'all know I was done. And so I went up in the spirit and I began to pray in my heavenly language and talk to the Lord. And the Holy Spirit began to say, Michael is ready to go to war. He's ready to go to war for you all. Listen this morning. He's ready to go to war for you all, but you have not released him. Okay. You have not released Michael. Listen, you praying and you trying to do. Okay. You're praying and you're trying to do battle by yourself. But the Holy Spirit told me to tell you there is a host of angels that's at your disposal. Have you released them? Listen, so I began to talk to the Lord. I said, okay. I said, does this mean I'm about to go into some serious warfare? Does this mean? He says, yes, daughter. He said, but I need you to understand that Michael, oh God, is going with you. You're not going alone. And so I began to say, okay. He says, Michael is leading them. And I begin to say, okay, God, okay. And then he said, go. Anytime God give me a prophetic word, he always back it with the scriptures. So I posted this on my page. And I said, because I've never really read this before, but you all know my experience with angels. I have studied them. There are certain ones that are assigned to me. There are angels that appear whenever, listen, there are certain angels that appear. I know their names when I do ministry. There are certain angels that appear when I am let me slow it down. There are certain angels that appear by name when I'm in warfare. Michael is number one. And so I began to look at this. I said, okay, God, you said go to scripture. Like, what do you say? So I went to Revelations. Listen, I went to Revelation 12, 7 through 12. Listen, it says, when you read this, it talks about the angel Michael. Listen, he is the leader whenever angels go to war. It says that in Revelation 12, 7 through 12, it talks about Michael and Satan going to battle. This is the end time. Satan and Michael goes to battle, and Michael overthrows Satan. Listen, y'all gotta hear this. And I begin to say, okay, God, what are you saying? He says, listen, he said, you got to understand. He says that Michael is going to battle for the people of God. He said, tell them that they have an angel assigned to them named Michael. You don't war alone. Why am I war out in this warfare? You're warring alone. Why am I war out in this? Because you haven't granted your angels access. Listen, when I know that I have Michael fighting for me, I don't have to war as hard. My God, today. And then God told me to tell you this morning, he said, and also tell them, okay, whenever the prophetic hit me, my head feels just like it sits right here. He says, tell them, he says, there will be times I will sit. Okay. He says, there will be, because I see you, I am Elroy. I know all things. I know what you're going through. I know your heartache. I know your heartbreak. I know your depression. I know what you're facing. So because I see that, he says, sometimes I will send Michael. Oh, God, I love you this morning. He said, but then there are other times. Oh, God, I love you. I love you. I love you. He said, there are other times when I will show up myself because I am Jehovah Gabor, the Lord that wars. He said, you don't have to war alone. What you going through? He says, I told y'all, I've been saying it all week, that I am Elroy. I am the God that sees all things. I am the God that is with you. I am your shepherd. You don't war alone. I'm with you. In this battle, you going to win. Can I just encourage y'all this morning? In this battle, you're going to win. You're going to win in the battle that you... Can somebody drop that in the chat? You're going to win in the battle that you're in. Listen. You never war alone. When I'm weak, he is strong. Watch this. I don't war alone. If I'm getting weak in the, listen to this. If I'm getting weak when I'm going through warfare, if I'm getting weak while I'm trying to fight against some stuff, then I gotta check myself. Is it my flesh trying to war? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, Ephesians, but against principalities. Okay, you're gonna win. Oh God, I feel that this morning. I don't know who this is for, but you're gonna win. In the battle that you're in, you're going to look back and you're going to say, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, Oh God, I love you. Where would I be? I wouldn't have made it through that thing. I wouldn't have came through that sickness. I wouldn't have survived the divorce. But if it had not been, oh God, I'm sorry this morning. I'm sorry. If it had not been, oh Lord, I'm trying, but my mind keep going back. Who? If it had not been for the Lord, who was on my side, where would I be? If you look back now at his track record, he came through every time. If you look back over your life, he came through every time. God, I love you this morning. If you freezing up over here on Facebook, just go to YouTube. Just go to my YouTube channel. I told y'all yesterday that Facebook act funny sometimes. I see somebody keep saying they freezing up. If you're freezing up over here, just go over to YouTube and see if you can. It's a better link over there. But listen. If it had not been for the Lord who is on my side, where would I be? You would have died in the war. Listen, you would have died in the warfare if it had not been for him. He says, my plans for you are good. My plans for you are going to help you to prosper. He said, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Oh God, I love you this morning. I love you this morning, because when I look back over when I went to the mental institute, my mind could have stayed gone. Okay, y'all ain't ready this morning. When I went through the divorce, I could have stayed in that depression. When I lost my father and my grandmother, I could have stayed in that dark place. But if it had not been, oh God, for the Lord, he was warring for me when I didn't even know it. He was warring. He was there for me when I did. Look, okay, he kept me when I didn't want to be kept. 9 surgeries later, I'm still here. When I felt death walking around the room, he told death to stand there. I'm still here. When I look back, oh God, over my life, God, y'all don't, listen, you don't know my story. Oh God, when I look back over all the heartache, all the heartbreak, all the disappointment, all the if it had not been for the Lord, if God, okay, let me just tell y'all this. If God be for you, who can be against you? If God be for you, some of them that's on this timeline now, Tracy and all them, they saw me go through hell and come through. They saw me on my sick bed. They saw me having surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery. They saw me. But if it had not been, oh God, for the Lord, who was on my side, where would I be? Where would I be? Whew. That's why I say I'm sold out to him. I owe him me. I owe him Elizabeth. I owe him all of me, not part of me. I got to submit to his will. I got to submit to his will, not mine. Not my will, God, but your will be done. Not what this flesh wants. He kept me. Oh, God. Y'all, I feel real preachy this morning. But he kept me when I didn't want to be kept. You can say you've been saved all your life, all you want to, but that's not my story. I was pregnant at 19 with my first set of twins. I was not married. He kept me. Oh, God. When I didn't even want to be kept. Oh, Lord. When I wanted to go one way, he pulled me back. Okay. Let me get to this. Because y'all pulling on the prophetic this morning. I'm trying to hold, as my grandmother would say, I'm trying to hold my mule. Listen. But when I think about, oh, God. When I think about how he kept me. When I think about how them doctors walked out that room and said it wasn't no hope. Oh, God. When I think about I couldn't keep food down for months. Listen, when I think about that stuff, when I think about my mind racing with mind traffic, mind confusion, and I had to go out to a mental institute because couldn't nobody help me, so I thought I needed them. When I think about that stuff, he kept me. He kept me. He kept me. Phew, God. Because I heard death walking around my bed. Y'all, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute this morning. I heard death walk around my bed. God. And then I saw the angel show up and tell death to stand down. Not so. Not yet. She had... She shall perform the work. Oh God, I saw my babies standing around my bed crying, thinking mama gonna die. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry this morning. If it had not been for him, whew, I don't know where I would be. Oh God. I saw death walking. I heard it coming. For me, he said, death, stand down. You can't have her. It's not a time yet. Oh God. Whew. And I said, I shall live and not die. Okay, I don't know who this is for. You sick in your body and you think you're not going to make it? God told me to tell you this morning, you shall live and not die, to declare the works of the Lord, to declare that he is good, to declare that he is a healer, to declare that he's a way maker. You shall not die but live. Live. You shall not die but live to declare the works of the Lord. Listen, let me get into this word this morning because I'm sorry. Not sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry this morning. But listen. We are on day 3 of this prophetic teaching. I call it a prayer call, but sometimes I don't even get to pray because the word gets so good. But the word does the work anyway. So listen. We have been talking all week about Elroy. E-L-R-O-I. Elroy is some pronounce it. Today we're going to talk about, and that means the God that sees me. He sees Elizabeth. He sees me. I'm trying, y'all, but it just keeps coming up in me. He sees me in my heartache is what we're going to talk about today. And we know what that means. El Roi is the God who numbers the hairs on our head. We talked about that yesterday. You have between 90,000 and 150,000 hairs on your head. And God, El Roi, know every one of them. He knows every one of them. Watch this. He is the God who sees us. He witnesses our struggles. And he said, not only will I witness your struggle, but I will walk with you through them. Okay. It says when we pray to El Roi, we are praying to the God who knows everything about us. So there's no point in lying to him because he know who you are. He know where you're going. He know what you're facing. Listen, and we talked about Hagar. Hagar in the book of Genesis, we started out with her who ran from Sarai. Here we go. The angel of the Lord shows up and asks her, Hagar, where are you going? And what are you running from? Go back and submit. Okay, that was Monday. Tuesday, we talked about the God that knows the hairs that's on my head. He knows everything about me. Listen. Today, we're going to talk about the aspect of El Roi, the God that sees my heartache. Because a lot of us been disappointed. A lot of us been rejected. A lot of us been cast aside. And it hurt our heart. It hurt our feelings. And so my mother then was telling me that when I was little, because my mama said I was just an unusual baby. So when I was little, she said a baby, like I would never really cry. And then as I got older, she said when I would cry, they wouldn't even know that I was crying until somebody happened to say, well, y'all know my nickname is Peaches. Peaches over there crying again. And so my mama said, I would always say, you hurt my feelings. And I said, Mom, maybe that was, I said, well, I was always saying, she said, yeah, you would be crying. And we didn't know why. And so as I got older, I kept thinking about that. And so one day I talked to my mom, I said, you know what? That's the spirit of rejection. I said, as a baby, I was battling. Do y'all hear me? I said, y'all thought it was cute, but I was battling something as a child when it come to rejection. She said, you would be crying and nobody knew why you were crying. And you would say, because you hurt my feelings. And we didn't even know what we had done to you. Rejection. The spirit of offense. As a baby. So I learned when I got older and I started going through stuff and how I would react to reject. And how I would react to rejection. It went all the way back. God. To when I was a baby. I always felt offensive. You looked at me, so it hurt my feelings. You said something, so it hurt my feelings. You did this, so it hurt my feelings. And God began to tell me, he says, daughter, you're going to have to get out of your feelings for where I'm taking you. Because you're going to face rejection. You're going to face, who is this for? You're going to face heartache. He said, as a child, it was planted there for some reason. And so now we got to deal with it. Whew. So here I am in my 30s, my late 30s, and we just now dealing with the spirit of rejection, spirit of offense, easily offended. Who am I talking to? You think everything is about you. Been dealing with it. I had been dealing with it for almost 38 years. And now God had to set me free and deliver me from that spirit. So we're going to talk about that this morning. I am El Roi, the God that sees your heartache. Listen, it says, watch this. Jeremiah 29, we love to quote this one. Jeremiah 29. Whew, y'all, I got to slow it down this morning. Jeremiah 29, verses 10 through 14. Jeremiah 29, verses 10 through 14. This is what the Lord says. When 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my good, listen, my good promise to bring you back to this place. For I know, here we go, this is what we love. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Verse 12. Then you will call on me and then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I'm going to listen to you. You will seek me and you will find me. When you seek me with your whole heart. Here we go. With your whole heart. Listen, verse 14. And I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and the places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place from which I carried you in exile. He says, my promises towards you are good and not evil. Oh, God, I love you this morning. Listen, it says, let's dig this out. After 70 years are completed at Babylon, I will visit you. What is that saying this morning? That is not saying that you got to, if we apply this to the day, that is saying that whatever you're in, whatever your warfare in, whatever your struggle in, he says, I will deliver you. He's not necessarily saying it's going to take you 70 years. It could be 70 minutes. It could be 70 days. But whatever you're in, according to God's timing, he will deliver. Watch this. Because this was previously promised by Jeremiah. The captivity in Babylon would not go beyond what God intended it for it to go. Whatever you in will not extend past what God his plans. God, I love you. His plans and his purposes. Oh, they gonna prevail. That's in Romans. His plans and his purposes, they gonna prevail. Listen, it says it will not extend past the time that God has allowed for it. Everything had, okay, I hear you, Holy Spirit. Everything has an expiration date. It's in God's timing. Shh, don't abort the process. God, don't abort the process. Listen, so it says, God had appointed a time for everything to end. He already knew when it started, this is when I'm going to end it. He already, can I say this one more time? He already knew, because he's Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He said, so I already know when you're going to go through this thing. And I know when I'm going to bring you out. He says, you got to understand this morning, listen, that nothing takes God by surprise. He says, so do you not know that I know the number of hairs on your head, whether it be 90,000 or 150,000? So do you think that I don't know when you're going through something and when you're going to come out? Do you think that I do not? Don't you know, listen, that there's a courtroom in heaven, and when court is in session, that Satan shows up too with his agenda, and God either gives him the okay or not. Court is in session. Who is this? Who, Lord? Who is this for? Court is in session. Satan has brought, the accuser of the brethren has brought your name up, and God said, wait a minute, stand down. Or he said, proceed. And what I love about God, ooh, Jesus, what I love about God is this. If he tells Satan, proceed, he already know that you're going to win in the battle that you're in, because he's Alpha and Omega. He already know how the thing going to work out. And what does the Bible say? All things work together for my good. It's going to work for you anyway. Oh, God, I love you. I love you this morning. Listen, so it says, let me stay here. It says, God had appointed an end time to them being in Babylon. It says, but it would be a long season in exile before God would cause, listen to Holy Spirit, God would cause you to return to this place. God is Alpha and Omega. He's beginning and the end. If we truly understood who he is, when we're going through certain things, we wouldn't get so so stressed out and bothered by it. Because if I understand that God is who he say he is still the God of the Bible. If I understand that, then I know he is with me. I know he's Jehovah Gabor. I know there's an angel called Michael and a whole legion of angels that can war for me. So even though I'm in this battle, I'm not alone. Because he's El Roi, he sees me. He see my heartache. Listen, it says, listen to this. It says, during that time, here we go, watch this. God already told us the year 2024 is going to be the year of confusion and deception. He says, but I'm going to give those that listen to my voice a supernatural spirit of discernment, that you will not be overtaken when there is this great falling away that is happening now. But watch this. Even back then, Old Testament, the false prophets had already told them, oh, y'all ain't gonna be in battle long. Here we go. You won't be in battle long. What you going through is gonna end soon. You know you ain't gonna be here long. But here comes Jeremiah, the weeping prophet. Oh, y'all gonna be here about 70 years. Here we go. And same thing we're dealing with now. Those prophets telling everybody take ease in Zion. It's the year to open door. Oh, God gonna do this. He gonna bless you with houses, cars, and land. And God told me, he said, daughter, I'm already gonna do that. He said, that's nothing new. He says, I have the very elect, the choicest blessings for my children. He said, that ain't a prophecy. Who is this for this morning? Because God already told me, listen, when God called me to do this thing in 1998, he already told me, he said, you are not going to be a prophet that's always prophesying houses, cars, and land and material stuff. He said, I'm going to put a word in your mouth that's going to change their life forever. He said, I called you, okay, to cry loud and spare not. He said, I didn't call you to tell them to take ease in Zion. When I'm saying there will be no ease, this is a season of war. He said, I didn't call you to be a prophet that can be bought by the people. Because I guarantee you, if I got on here every morning and I started talking about God gonna give you a husband, God gonna give you this. Listen, the seeds will be overflowing. They will be massive. But listen, that will cost me my life. Jesus. Watch this. So he told me to listen to this. It says, even with Jeremiah, it says the false prophets had promised a quick return from exile. But through Jeremiah, the Lord told them, oh, it ain't going to be no quick return. Whew. Listen, he said, it will not be a quick return, but there will be a return. Whew. But people don't like when you give the prophetic word. You ain't coming out no time soon, but you will come out. They don't like, listen, I can see it in their face when they get in the prayer line and they like, oh, here we go. And I just look at them and then God starts saying, tell them what they in. I got to keep them there for a minute because I got to process them through. But when I bring them out, they coming out with all power. When I bring them out, they coming out with the victory. When I bring them out, they bringing out their whole family. So they got to stay in till I process them through. They got to stay in till I birth this testimony. You can't testify without a test, okay? But we all want to get microwave. Hurry up and get me out. Hurry up and take me through. Hurry. So that's why you ain't got no real, okay, I'm going to stay right here. Listen. So Jeremiah comes to burst a bubble. He comes to tell them, we're going to be in Babylon about 70 more years. I know y'all don't like it, but when we come out of this, can somebody drop that in the chat? When I come out of this, I'm going to be brand new. When I come out of this, God going to make me over. When I come out of this, I'm bringing my whole family with me. Okay. In time, God, and Jeremiah tells them, in time, God will visit you and perform this word towards you and cause you to return to this place. Listen, God gave them, listen to this, God gave them a good word. It just, This is it. This is those of you that live or walk in the office of the prophet that's on here this morning. This is our heartache right here. This is the heartache right here. God, I love you. This is the heartache right here. I can give you a prophetic word, but it's contrary to all the other false prophecies you got. So I can give you the word of the Lord, how he gonna bring you out, how he gonna deliver, how he gonna set free. But what you in, baby, you gonna have to stay a little while. Let God process you through. So the look and your spirit, watch this. God can send a prophetic word, but if your spirit ain't ready to receive it, watch this. God can send a prophetic word, and if it ain't what your ears want to hear, you don't receive it. It says here, God had a good word for the exiles. It just wasn't the word the false prophets brought them. So there was a conflict because they had itching ears. And they were running to who was telling them, watch this, because I've noticed this. People when they would do stuff and they don't tell you to after the fact. You know why they do stuff and they don't tell you to after the fact? Because they know, listen, the advice that you're going to give them is from the Lord, and they can't risk. What I really want to do is, I don't know if it's God or not, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so when I go ahead and do it, she'll just find out about it later. Because you don't want the word of the Lord. You have made up in your mind that this is what I'm going to do. And when it's done, then I deal with the repercussions. That's why God told me, he says, daughter, he said in 2024, we ain't wasting no oil. He said, when they have already made up their mind what they gonna do, he said, then they come to you. He said, no ma'am. No ma'am. It costs you too much to keep wasting it. Listen. If you were there with us during worship and warfare in August, it was not worship and warfare. If you were there during our anniversary service in October, Pastor Natalie Kirkpatrick came, and the word of the Lord that she gave me, watch this, the word of the Lord that she gave me, she said, you have poured and poured and poured and poured, listen, and poured and poured and poured into people. Your resources, your time, you sacrifice your time with people. She said, and there are pearls, listen to this, that's scattered everywhere. Because you've been pouring for years. Listen, and me and her didn't know each other. I never bring somebody in to minister to the people of God that's under me that know me well. I want to bring in somebody that don't know me because I want to see. I don't want you to minister to the people based on what you know about me. Listen, so I like to bring people in that I know you're powerful. I pray about it. I know you're powerful. I know God. So that's who I bring in. And so she said, the word of the Lord to me in October was, you have poured and poured and poured and poured and poured for years into people, and the pearls are scattered all over the place. Listen, she said they scattered all over the place. She said, but there's a remnant of pearls that's right here in your face, hungry. They ready. She said, God told me to tell you, that's who you pour into in this season. Whew. You pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. I have so many people right now pulling on me. I was telling my admin, I said, right now, I have so many people pulling on me, mentor me. And God said, no. He said, not in this season. Not in this season. Not in this season. See, so you have to be careful that you move by the timing of the Lord and not your flesh. Watch this. And you have to be careful that when the Lord speaks, you receive it. Watch this. Because right here, Jeremiah said, y'all are going to be in this situation for about 70 years. You ain't coming out. But when you come out, you coming out as pure gold. When you come out, you coming out with the victory. Listen, so it says, that was a form of, here we go. That was, oh God, I love you. That was a form of deception, just like it is today. You have a lot of false prophets, witches and warlocks. God, witches and warlocks are very active. And people that have itching ears, that's where you will be, that's where you will go. Watch this. But the Bible says, okay, y'all, I feel so preachy this morning. But the Bible says, suffer not a witch to live. If you were in the service in August, y'all know what happened. Place jam-packed. I'm up preaching my heart out. Just going forth in the Lord. The psalmist going forth. Everybody going forth in the Lord. And all of a sudden, listen, God began to reveal to me, he said, the witches, the warlocks. And so I got the mic. In the middle of somebody was doing something, and I got the mic. And I just started walking. And I said, I suffer not a witch to live. Because y'all know, if you know my ministry, witches don't fool with me. Oh, they can't stand me. Baby, I've been, see, this right here ain't for the faint of heart. I've been preaching before and the witches line up on the front row and just try to stare me down. And they don't understand, baby, you give me more ammunition. Because the Bible told me, suffer not a witch to live. So I'm going to preach the hell out of you. You're either going to get saved or get out. So during our service, listen, during our service, they on here. Many of you that were there on here. So during our service, when I start preaching, suffer not a witch to live, and I start coming to get the witches and the warlocks, guess what happened? A black snake lined up at the door, at the entrance when you get in the building. This is, I told y'all, me and Satan got to understand it. He hate me and I hate him. God, listen, he hate me and I hate him. So I'm up preaching and going forth and binding and rebuking and casting down and doing all that God has given me to do. And a black snake lined up at the door. And the people start calling my team saying, we can't get in. It's a black snake at the door. We can't get in the building. I said, oh God. I said, oh, it's on now. It's on now. When I got the mic and I started telling them what was happening, the place went up. So you got to understand what you walk in. Quit being, I don't know who this is for, and I don't even know why I'm going there. See Tracy on there, she telling you, it sure did. I ain't got to make up nothing. I know what authority I walk in. I know, listen, it's certain things, listen, you got to know what type of prophet you are. There are different types of prophets. You got the knobby prophets. You got all kind of prophets. You got to know your lane and stay in it. Okay, I'm so over my time. Listen, so we have deception going on. We got the false prophets telling them, take ease in Zion. We got the false prophets telling them, y'all ain't gonna be here long. God gonna bring y'all out. So you got some believing it. Then you got Jeremiah coming telling them, sorry, you're gonna be in exile. You're gonna be in Babylon about 70 years. But when you come out, you coming out with power and authority. Watch this. So Jeremiah had a double duty. This is where it gets hard. Listen. Jeremiah had the double duty, watch this, of putting down false hopes and sustaining the right expectation. Listen to this. Jeremiah, and you wonder why they called him the weeping prophet. Listen to his job. He had to put down all these false prophecies that they had received. He had to deal with that first and then give them the hope of God. So those that look at me and say, your gift is just so, you hear God like that. I just want that gift. And I'm looking like, really? You want this? You want sleepless nights? You want crying over the souls? You want to think you're going to bed and all you hear is the souls crying out, don't leave me like this. Don't leave me like that. So you can't sleep. You want that? Because you see the lights, camera, the action. But you don't know the days that we had to fast 40 days. You don't know the days that we did water. You don't know the days that we had to give up everything. But you want this? So Jeremiah had double duty. He had to deal with casting down the false prophecies first, and then giving them the hope of God, and then praying and believing that they're going to receive it. Watch this. He therefore plainly warned them against, listen to this. Listen to this warning. Listen to this warning. It says, Jeremiah had to warn them against this. Listen, expecting more than God had promised. Could it be? Oh, God, I love you. Did you expect more than what God even said he was going to give you? God didn't say, take ease in Zion. So you're frustrated because you're waiting for the ease, and that's not what he said. This is why you have to have a supernatural spirit of discernment. This is why you have to be in the right vein with God. This is why you have to be in right alignment with God, so you know his voice. So you won't have itching ears. The book of Timothy, it talks about they will have itching ears drawn away because of their own lust, what they want to hear. It will be easier for me to get on here and start talking about God. This is the year that God gonna pour out marriages and you gonna get married. Oh, baby, they will be sowing like crazy. Itching ears because I'm single. That's what I want to hear. So it's a prophet over there talking about God, listen. Okay, Holy Spirit. It's a prophet over there They keep talking about big people getting married. So I'm going to run over there and I'm going to sit under them because that's what I want to hear. Do you not know that a false prophet has a following just like a true prophet? Because demons link up. So you can't be deceived by the numbers. Okay, let me stay right here. It says, it goes on in the book of Jeremiah. We know we in Jeremiah 29:10 through 14. And it says, for I know the thoughts I think toward you, says the Lord. He's thinking about you. He is Elroy. He said, I see you. I see your heart. I'm concerned about where you are now. He says, I see you. And I need you to know the thoughts I think towards you are good. Woo, and not evil. Woo, and to give you an expected end. What does it say? God knew his own thoughts towards the Jews in Babylon. Watch this. But they, here we go, watch this. But they did not know or did not remember his thoughts towards them. Why they did not remember? Because they got so drawn away by the false prophecies. They didn't remember that God is for me. They didn't remember that God gonna bring me out. They didn't remember what God said he would do. They didn't remember that he's the God that still part Red Seas. They didn't remember. So all they were thinking about is a way out. Watch this. It says they did not know or remember his thoughts toward them. So God wanted them, listen, so God wanted to state them in writing through this letter that Jeremiah wrote them. He said, since they can't remember, write it down. Woo, God. Since they can't remember, write it down. Woo, God, I don't know who this is for. Since they can't remember what I promised them, write it down. What is God saying this morning? Every promise that I gave you, write it down. And watch me come through, because you will forget what I said. That's people always say, Dr. 3, how in the world you done wrote like 7, 8 books? It's the promises of God that I journal. And I take my journals and I turn them into books. And then it bless the body. Shameless plug. If you want any of my books, go to my website. Listen, it's a book on there for everything. The number one book that I recommend to people is God's Chosen. God's Chosen. God, if you go to my website, check it out. God's Chosen. Listen, actually, if you want the book, you can get it Friday night. My team, y'all set my books up for me. They do an excellent job. Shout out to the team. Listen, set my books up. If you want it, come Friday night. Listen, God's Chosen. God's Chosen. That's the book. Or you might want to get the Morning Glory Prayer Devotional. It's a prayer for everything under the sun. Backing it up with scripture. I don't know what to pray. Baby, open up a book. The prayers with the scripture. Listen, so Jeremiah, God says Jeremiah, and he says, since they done forgot, write it down for me. Write it down for them so they can see it. So this is a letter. Jeremiah 29 is a letter that he wrote to the people in exile, the children of Israel that were in exile. Watch this. It says, so God wanted to state it in writing through Jeremiah's letter. It says, God thinks about you. He has not forgotten you, is what Jeremiah is letting them know. In Psalms 40, David pondered the thought of God. Listen, David pondered, he thought about the thoughts of God upon his people. What did he say? Your thoughts toward us cannot be recounted to you in order. Listen, your thoughts, oh God, I love you, toward me, I can't even count them all. I don't even know the order in which you think about me. It says, if I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Psalms 40. David said, I can't even number the number of thoughts that you have towards me. He said, the number system don't go that high. Do y'all hear this? The number system don't even go high enough for me to recount how you think towards me. Listen, it says, yet God told these exiles through Jeremiah, he said, I have something even better for you. He says, I not only think of you, he says, my thoughts toward you. He says, my thoughts towards you are all drifting your way. Listen, my thoughts are drifting towards you. I'm leaning. When William Murphy said he's leaning in my direction, his thoughts towards me are leaning in my direction. Watch this. And it says, oh God, it says, Isn't it amazing how people are quick? Listen to this. Isn't it amazing? Did y'all ever think about this? When a rumor go out, everybody believe it. Listen, when a rumor go out, everybody believe it. But then when the truth come out to recount the lie, nobody want to believe that. We rather keep the lie. We rather believe the lie. People would rather believe a lie than the truth any day. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? They would rather believe a lie instead of the truth any day. It says, listen, they believed Jeremiah's job was double duty. Watch this. Because the false prophecy came with no requirements. Here we go. If you get in the prayer line and I say, God gonna give you a husband, ain't really nothing for you to do but believe that. Ain't no requirements. God gonna give you a husband. Oh, God. And they fall out on the floor and they cry and they blow bubbles and now all of a sudden you get up and the husband ain't came yet. Now you mad at everybody. But you believe that. But if you come in my prayer line and I say, God told me to tell you, if you would just stop sleeping around, he gonna bless you beyond. You ain't want to believe that. No. Because I be trying. God know my heart. That's the problem. He knows your heart. He know my heart and I be trying. So you don't want to hear. Come out. Be set free. Be delivered. It's going to be some work for you to do, baby. You're going to have to fast. You're going to have to pray. You're going to have to dig deeper. And when I give these prophetic words, the look on some people's faces is like, but I want to fix right now. I want what I want right now. Why I got to stop doing all that? Because a lie you rather believe. It's easy. There's no requirements. There's no requirements. But when you have the prophetic word of the Lord that comes, it's a requirement to that thing. Because watch this, God gonna always do what he said. But are you doing your part? Okay. It says, the true prophecies always come with a follow through or something you must do. Listen, furthermore, we may not know God's thoughts. Watch this. But he says, I know the thoughts I think. So, okay. I don't know what God think about me, but he know. I'm going to say this one more time. You may not know the thoughts of God, but he know his thoughts. He know what you thinking. He know what he thinks towards you. He said, I'm going to give him expected end. He said, I wish above all things they were prosper and be in good health. He said, I know the beginning from the end. He said, I named them when they were in their mother's womb. He said, in their mother's womb, I ordained them as a prophet to the nation. I ordained them as a psalmist to the nation. So when they open up their mouth to sing, chains gonna break. When they open up their mouth to sing, deliverance gonna take place. He says, I did that before the sperm met the egg. So I know, listen, what's going to happen. I know when the healing gonna come. He said, I know all those things. You may not know, but I know because I'm God. Watch this. And as prophets, y'all heard me say it before, we prophesy in part because we know in part. We don't know everything. We don't know the full story. God give prophets glimpse. He never give us the full story. God. And sometimes you can be going through and you can be connected to a prophet and God will hide it from them. Well, I'm under her. She says she a prophet. Why she ain't know? God can hide it from me. When God okay. When you're under a man or woman of God that is in the office of the prophet, watch this. God will sometimes hide things from them because he wants you to know that he's your source. He's your answer, not your prophet. He wants you to come to him, not them. Okay, I'm going to stay right here. It says, God's thought towards us are of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Through Jeremiah, God assured them that his thoughts towards them are good. He said, my thoughts towards you are good. I'm not going to harm you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm God. Why would I hurt what I created? Why would I hurt what I have chosen? He says, my thoughts towards you are peace. You in warfare right now. You in warfare right now. But my thoughts towards you are peace. Listen, and that in his heart and mind. Peace in your heart and your mind. Listen, he says not only that, but I have a future. I see down the road for you. And it's an expected end. I'm going to get the glory, but you're going to get the victory. Listen, you're going to get the victory. Just know that I'm El Roy. I see your heart. I look on your brokenness, your rejection, your depression. He said, I see that and I got you. I see that and I got you. Listen, it says, here comes the requirement. Here comes the requirement. Watch this, because all the other prophets done told him, all the false prophets done told him, oh, you going to come on through. You going to come on through. God going to deliver y'all. Y'all ain't going to be in exile. You coming out in a number of days. And here comes Jeremiah. Sorry, not sorry, but you're not. God said he will bring you through. You will be the head and not the tail, above and not, Deuteronomy 28, above and you will be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. You're going to be the lender and not the borrower. And he said, I'm going to do all that. But, here we go, here's the but. You have to seek me and find me. Watch this. When you search for me with your whole heart, then I'm going to bring you out of cave. No, I don't want to have to do nothing. I don't want to have to fast. I don't want to have to pray. I don't want to have to, Listen, your leader call a fast. Okay, because y'all know we're in our 21 day, our part 1 of 21. We're in our 21 day fast. And watch this. I always send these little memes to my team when you about to eat something. You say, oh, wait a minute, we fasting. Oh, wait, you about to fry that chicken. Oh, Lord, we fasting. Because the enemy will have you to forget. But watch this. You will have people, listen, we fasted for 12 hours today. I'm just saying this. This is not the fast that my team is on. We fasting for 12 hours today. And you say, okay, what time, Dr. 3? And I'm giving you my time because I'm the one that get up at 4 o'clock a.m. So my 12 hours is 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. Nothing in my mouth but water. Watch this. So yeah, we're going to do it with Dr. 3, but you ain't get up to 10. So you didn't fast 12 hours. We doing, listen, you give another fast. We doing the Daniel fast, fruits and vegetables only. Or we do, here's the kicker. I done heard it all. We doing the fast, but we doing liquids only. And you know, as a prophet, God will reveal to you who fast and who not, who half fasting, who lying about it. And you just looking like, really? We was on a water fast for like 2 weeks and you ain't lost no weight? Okay, watch this. So we on the liquid fast. You juicing a steak. People do this. They juicing everything. She said, liquid, honey. I'ma juice this steak. I'ma drink it. You're cheating. And God knows your heart. He knows your intent. He knows your motives. It's one thing to be fat. I don't know why I'm on this. It's one thing to be fasting. If God said, I need y'all to fast. It's one thing to be fasting and you turn down your plate and you accidentally put something in your mouth. That's a whole different thing, honey. I'm about to juice this steak. And when you coming out, y'all don't know I'm talking about the fast. And then when you coming off the fast, you counting it down. Oh no, we got 2 more hours, y'all. You already calling home. Heat up the oven. Get the steak out. Get the shrimp out. You're cheating. You ain't even in the right frame of mind. You so anxious to come off the fast. Because my team said 9 times out of 10, we'll do a 21-day fast, and we out, and I'm like, you know what, the fast is over, praise God, and we going over, everybody that made it through the fast, and then here I come, thinking I'm done, and God said, back down. You the leader. You ain't done. I told the team 21, I'm telling you 40. Listen, let me get back to this, because y'all know I'm just everywhere this morning. It says, so the requirements were, I'm going to bring you out. Listen, I'm going to bring you out. But there's a requirement. Whenever there's a prophetic word from the Lord, there comes requirements. 9 times out of 10, there's going to come something for you to do. Have you done your part? It says, you're going to have to call upon me. You're going to have to pray to me. And I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to answer. It says you're going to have to seek me and find me. It says, then you're going to have to, he said, when you seek me, you're going to have to seek me with your whole heart. Not this half stuff. Not partly seeking me because I'm by myself all day. So I'm in the presence of the Lord. But my girls want me to go out to dinner. So I'm going to go out with them. Baby, I thought you were fasting. Where they do that at? Listen. When I fast, I not only turn down my plate. Watch this. I turn down everything that would gratify this flesh. The TV. Listen to music. That you know ain't doing nothing but building you up. You know when you hear that song by Jodeci, that you know where your mind gonna go all the way back to that one. Okay, I'm gonna stay here. He says the requirement was You're going to have to call upon me, pray to me, seek my face with your whole heart. God will not hide from his people when they seek him. God will not hide from you when you seek him. God, can somebody drop that in the chat? God will not hide from me when I seek him. He said, when you seek me, you gonna find me. When you seek me, you gonna find me. It says, watch this. You will seek me and you will find me. God will not hide from his people when they seek him. They would not suffer under the dark sense. He said, it's no sense in you sitting around thinking that I cannot be found. It says their seeking and God's revealing were part of their future and their hope. They're seeking with their whole heart. They're seeking and God's revealing, showing himself to them, because I'm El Roi, I am the God that sees you. He said, when you seek me, I will see you, you will see me. He said, and that's going to be that's what's going to give you hope. Why do you not have any hope? Because you're not seeking him. Why are you getting stressed out? You're not seeking him. You're going to your mentor, your prayer partner, your pastor, your counselor, your therapist, the people on your job, your girlfriends, your kids. Are you seeking him? He said, when you seek me, you're going to find me. You're going to find me. Listen, it says, and I will bring you out of captivity. This was the further aspect of their future and their hope, that God would not only bless and be with them in Babylon. What did he say? I am Jehovah Rohi. I see those people who think they are invisible. I see those people who think they are alone. Because I am Jehovah, because I am El Roi, I am there with you. He says, while you're in Babylon, he says, listen, not only will I bless you, but I'm going to be with you. And then I'm going to allow you to come back to the promised land. I am El Roi. I am the God that sees you. Listen, what did Hagar say? Because watch this. Whenever you get into that place with God where you know he see me, when you experience El Roi, watch this. It always comes with a promise. Listen, all 55 of y'all over here, I got a lot on YouTube, but listen to this. Whenever I seek God with my whole heart, he comes through with a promise. Listen, when Hagar realized, when she came face to face with El Roi, he promised her Ishmael and protection. The God that hears, the God that sees. And I'm going to protect you. And I'm going to give you the same promise that I gave Abraham. Watch this. When the disciples encountered El Roi, they were promised, you may die as a martyr, but you're going to live again. Oh, God, listen. When the children in this text realized that El Roi, he sees me, what happened? He gives them an expected end. What are you expecting this morning? Oh, God, I love you. I love you. What are you expecting this morning? God told me to tell you, listen, that I have an expected end to you. My thoughts towards you are good and not evil. He said, I'm not the kind of God that plays hide and seek. I'm not the kind of God that plays hide and seek. When you seek me, you're going to find me. When you seek me, I'm going to show up. When you seek me, not only will I show up, but I will send a legion of angels to war on your behalf. And when I don't think these angels can quite get it done, I will show up myself as Jehovah Gabor, the Lord that wars. You never in it alone. You're never in it alone. You're never in it alone. Who is this for this morning? You are never in it alone. Listen, I got to get off of here. I'm way over my time, but I want you to understand this morning. Oh, God, I love you. That God has an expected end for you. Can y'all just drop that in the chat? I'm coming out of this thing with power, with glory, and with might. You coming out of this thing, listen, with more authority than you could ever imagine. You're coming out of this thing. And when you come out, your family coming out. And when you come out, you coming out as pure gold. Don't abort the process. Don't get out before timing. God says you shall come out. And while you're in it, I'm in it with you. An expected end. Listen, if you want to sow into the word, the information is on the bottom of the screen. You're sowing into absolute fertile soil. I shared with my team on yesterday that God's girl in India. You know, I have a portion of my ministry that's actually in India, and they're going into revival in India. And if you know, listen, this is where your seeds go. In case y'all didn't know, this is where your seeds go. It's not to make Dr. Three rich, because guess what? When I get off of here, I'm going straight to work. I'm working about 8-9 hours. I do that every day. Well, Monday through Friday, I work. I work a real job. So you're not making the prophet rich. It sits in an account and it bless the people of God. It sits in an account and we can have all these services, because you do know the Oasis ain't cheap. It takes money to do ministry. And do you know, when you sow, what are you doing? You're helping me to evangelize. You're helping me to prepare the kingdom. So you partaker of every blessing that comes to Sold Out International. Y'all heard the testimonies. Y'all heard my testimony about how I had over $200,000 in student loan debt. Why you had that much debt, Dr. Three? Because I really earned my doctorate. Nobody give it to me. Oh, I went to school, blood, sweat, and tears. Wanted to quit. God erased all my student loan debt. Not only mine, but people on my team as well. People on my team, houses, cars, land. It's so many miracles that followed this ministry. Blinded eyes came open. The lame did walk through this ministry. Listen, if you want to sow, so you are helping me to do the work of the Lord, the work of the kingdom. The car that I drive, I already had it. Sorry, y'all. The house that I live in, God already gave it to me. Before there was a Sold Out International. It came from my obedience to God. So listen, if you want to sow, the information is on the bottom of the screen. I'll be back here in the morning at, I was about to say 7 a.m. at 5:30 a.m. declaring the word of the Lord. We're going deeper with El Roy High. If you have not made plans, I need you to be with me this Friday, 7 p.m., 604 Doug Mays Place. It goes down. Everything change. I know a lot of people look at it online, but I promise you, you're not getting what we get in the building. It's a whole portion. Listen, y'all don't get. It's a whole portion that goes on before I actually go live with the people that's in the building. They know, because we can't play the music on Facebook or on the on social media, because they'll block it. So it's a whole portion of service, about 20-30 minutes, that happen before y'all even see the live. You missing all that. By the time y'all see us on live, we already messed up. So you missing all the before glory. Listen, I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I will see you again in the morning, 5:30 a.m. Watch this. Have a good day on purpose. Listen, release your angels this morning. Release your angels. Listen, release your angels to war for you. I love you. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Have a good day on purpose.